Hi everyone, my name is Maria Cunha. I'm the Director of Psychology at Forward Thinking, and I'm here with
Alex Joseph, Clinical Director at Forward Thinking.
And Elaine Morales, Community Director.
So hot topic of the week, and I know, if you see me online, I've been doing a lot of videos lately about the New Year's resolution and how to keep up with your goals. And what is happening at the New Year's or the first couple of weeks of January is that we start quitting to those goals. And one of the topics that I discuss with my patients is self-sabotage.
Now, Maria, that you're the one, you as a wellness advisor and as a therapist here at Forward Thinking, do you see that a lot of people, when you sit down with them, are they actually aware that they doing it, or what's your feedback on that?
Well, when you bring them, like, let's say self-sabotage is different types of behaviors of actions that you actually you take part of your behavior to hold you back on to reaching those goals, but sometimes we do it unconscious too.
Yeah, and I think that everybody that works, at least us that we work in this environment, that normally people need a certain structure in order to accomplish health goals. In our case, we see it a lot, and sometimes you see it, and they don't even see it as a self sabotage, but they just make excuses one after the other, independently of the type of life that they have. But they start either saying, "Oh, it's just that I don't have time," "Oh,
Right.
it's my kids, it's my husband, it's work," and then eventually is that they even start stopping themselves to actually reaching those goals, even though in their hearts they do want it. But how you go from actually having a plan to actually putting those plans into action, that's when we find that problem, that they start sabotaging themselves not to reach those goals.
And that's actually one of the problems, that a lot of times they don't really know what they want, because one of the things that happens, it has to come from your heart, it has to come from you.
So what's the biggest problem that you encounter once you sit down with them? Like, what's the biggest challenge once you see that's happening? Like, this person that is sitting in front of me wants to reach that goal, that know that they need it. Now, what's the biggest challenge once you?
The first one that I work with them is self-worth, because a lot of times you don't believe that you can accomplish that goal, and that's what we call those false beliefs, because they come from you. So let's say with weight loss and getting healthier, going to the gym, you always say to yourself, I'm never going to reach that, I'm always going to be fat, I'm always going to, it's never going to happen to me. That's a belief that you created. So it's more powerful than anything else. You give that belief so much power that you start to believe it. That's the power of language is so important.
And that's when the self sabotage starts.
Yes.
Well, everything you're saying is really good, but how do you help them recognize when they're in denial? Like, here you are asking them all these questions, but they're in denial of the fact that they have self-sabotaging type of behaviors.
I start pointing that out. One of the things that I use a lot is I challenge your reality by asking questions. So is it really the kids that are holding you back, or is you? I love to do my research and listen to the most successful coaches, and the three things that as human we deal the most with false beliefs is that I am not enough, I can't connect, and I want something so bad but it's unavailable to me.
So what I'm kind of hearing is sometimes the clients that you're seeing, it's not more so the weight loss, it's what's behind the weight loss. So the weight loss is just something that, okay, I'm dealing with this weight that I've gained and I can't fit into my clothes. But there's more behind this weight loss that they have to figure out in order to achieve this goal that they're setting, no matter what goal it is. It doesn't have to be weight loss. It could be savings. It could be, actually going back to school. But we have all these kind of self-sabotaging type of behaviors.
Yes.
And I think that we see it, and I think it happened to all of us, like, especially, and I think at least in this industry, especially women, that we have a specific role, that we're supposed to, certain responsibilities that we feel like we need to fulfill. But at what point do I start taking care of myself? And at what point do we start, not seeing it as selfish, but as self-care? that we were actually talking about that
Mhm.
when does it stop being selfish and it starts being self-care?
I think that word selfish has such a negative connotation in our
It
society
does.
today that every time someone says, "Oh, you're selfish," you tend to kind of cower in or you kind of back down, say, "Oh, maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this for myself. Maybe I should be giving more." So there's always those that seem to give a lot and not enough for themselves. They're always giving, but then at the end, what's left is nothing. They don't even have energy to kind of take care of themselves. So they get into these self-sabotaging type of behaviors, right?
Right. And that's one of the things we start practicing with them, teaching them what is self-care and what is being selfish.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So at the end, Maria, once what would you say that are like the best tips to follow to those people that are either not necessarily in denial, but maybe they're not actually aware that they're sabotaging and they're actually the ones that are putting a stop into reaching that goal.
Well, first of all, we have to come up with, that's what, we're more, that's what we do. That's what we love what we do here, because everything is emotional and psychological when you're trying to accomplish something. So it's not just, first of all, to find out exactly what is that you want, your desire, and it has to come from you. Second, we have to be very flexible in the approach, because a lot of times we're gonna get out of track, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's part of the process.
And that's life.
That's
Mhm.
life. Yeah. Also, you have to have a good support system. That's another part that is very important, because it happens a lot with self sabotage.
Yeah.
That you start, it's hard for you already to believe in you, and you have people that are
Around you, they're not that they're not
Exactly. So
supporting
they're
your
bringing
cause.
you down. So you have to have a good support system.
Yeah, and we don't realize this, and sometimes even when people we think that it's not that they don't love us, it's and maybe sometimes they don't understand how bad we want something, and that they're actually getting us backwards.
Or how important this thing that we're trying to
Yes.
do, what it means to us, how
Hmm.
it's affecting our lives. And sometimes we're like, oh, self sabotage friends. Guys, sometimes this could be your family,
Hmm.
it could be your children. So sometimes the meanings, it's closer to home than you think.
And at what point you say that I am important and I'm worth it. So
Mhm.
that's when I think it all boils down to, like, you are important and you are worth it. And at the end, what we were talking, Alex, what you were saying about the plane, like, if you're not taking care of yourself, how you're going to be able to take care of others?
Exactly. You have to let your voice be heard. Sometimes you can't stay quiet. You have to let them know, listen, I need me time. I need to take some time out for me. I need to do this for me. And
Hmm.
it's okay to say that.
We also see a lot that, as how we like to be in control of everything, we also like to be in control of our failure. And that's very important to point out, because as much as you want to accomplish that, inside of you, you're not believing it, and you know that you're going to fail, but at least you're in control of that. And
Yeah.
that's something that I point out a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, and self sabotage, guys, it's allowing you to victimize yourself. So it's allowing you to repeat this victimizing type of role. So if I have something to make an excuse on, then okay, I can. If the goal that I didn't accomplish, that's okay, because I'm gonna, make an excuse for why I didn't
And it
accomplish
becomes
it.
a cycle, and then it's okay. It
Exactly.
becomes a normal, because at some
Exactly.
point you're always going to find that excuse that is like, oh, it's because of this. It's not that I don't want it, or it's just that I'm never going to, what you were saying at the beginning, that you're always in the back of your head, even when you want it the most, you're still thinking, I'm not going to be able to do it. So at that same point that you're thinking that, then you're already sabotaging
Right.
that goal that you want to reach.
Because the most important person to believe it is you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Without you, there's nothing, to be honest.
Nothing.
You are
Nothing.
your own advocate. You are your own cheerleader sometimes. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the goal you have. You have to make sure it has purpose and it has meaning for you.
Yes.
And even though it's important to have that support system, like you said, if you don't have yourself, if you don't have your own back, then you don't have nothing.
And it's okay, guys. I always say this, to ask for help. And, like, we all need some type of help in areas of our life.
Of course, and
So,
that's what we're here too.
Yes.
That if you need those tools, if you need that support system, then we can actually become that support system. Maria is an expert, actually going and doing that follow up, and keeping track, and helping you being a little bit more accountable, which is great. And sometimes we do need it, and if you do need that support, then even if it's not this place, maybe find that support.
yeah. Yeah, understanding yourself, understanding what you do, the things you do, that's key. The more you know about yourself, the more that you can accomplish on anything.
One thing I tell the clients every time